Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As we're in Cebu, my own hapon to all of you. Privileged to be here to share with you, under the context of regeneration, what it means in terms of tourism and the role that an airport plays in that context. So regeneration means many things. One of the things it certainly means to us is finding new ways to do things in a much better, more sustainable way to create economic value and benefit to the nation, starting right here in Cebu. So we describe airports as economic engines of growth, hence the title Engine On, because we're powering up for economic growth. We're powering up to put Cebu on the map internationally in a way that's never been done before. I like this photograph because it shows Burbank Airport in California. It's one of the very first airports in the world, and you can see the excitement by the number of people clamoring around the terminal to look at what's going on in the airport. I still get excited going to work every day today, and I know many of you get excited by the prospect of going to an airport. But airports are merely gateways. They're not destinations in themselves. So they're gateways to a destination. And as a gateway, it has to be defined. As a gateway, it has to be defined and aligned with the specific destination. So let's take a look at Amsterdam Schiphol. This is in Holland. They developed one of the best duty-free transfer facilities in the world. And they created this very synonymous yellow bag. And wherever you see it in the world, many people know what it represents. Dubai International Airport this year on target to declare some of the highest duty-free revenues of any airport in the world. Las Vegas. Anybody been to Las Vegas? The gambling capital of the world. When you go to the departure lounge of the airport, they still have the slot machines, just in case you didn't get enough gambling while you were in the city. Right there in the airport, okay? They give you one last chance to make your fortune. So ultimately, these are airports that represent the destinations. So, when we come to the concept of Cebu, what is our positioning? How can we position ourselves to ensure that people understand all that Cebu has to represent? Well, you have one of the most diverse and most interesting opportunities to engage in marine life, whether it's swimming with the whale sharks in Oslo, or just experiencing the reefs and the colorful seas right here in the Philippines. The history and culture, the Sinulog Festival, a great festival, a festival that really takes us back many years to help explain the traditions of the Filipino people, particularly the Cebuanos. You can also have the luxury living, the metro living experience. I love the photograph on the bottom, because to me, some people might even think it's Manhattan. It's not, it's Cebu. And this isn't an artist's impression, this is a photograph of Cebu. Literally, as you approach the IT park. And of course on top we have one of the malls, the very famous malls here. So being the gateway for tourism into a country, an airport plays an important role, but it is not the main role player. There is a tourism ecosystem, and that ecosystem means that we play a role along with others, including the Department of Tourism, airlines, hotels and resorts, to ensure that we can market this as a destination. If you ask an average tourist in Europe or the US, would you think of going to the Philippines on a holiday? The first thing they wonder is, where is the Philippines? Somebody once asked me if it's next to Hawaii. I said, no, it's a little bit further than Hawaii. It has nothing to do with Hawaii. But time has proven that islands in the middle of nowhere are still very attractive to people. This is Mali, this is the capital of the Maldives. I lived there for 2.5 years. It is still one of the most desired beach destinations in the world. It still tops in the top 5 rankings of beach destinations in the world for Europeans. The Maldives has been there for the last 10 years. And it is stunning. This is a picture of a resort, okay? You can't see where the swimming pool ends and the sea starts. The colors are the same. This is the beach, powder white sand. There's nobody there. This is how it looks. They're not on strike. They're actually, people are there. It's just that it's that spacious, it's that nice, it's that inviting. When you arrive at the jetty, this is what you see, and you think, wow, this is like where I'd love to spend all my time. And the people there are very nice in the Maldives. And you think, I just really want to go there. This is a great picture. I mean, look at that. But before you get excited, I want to tell you something interesting. This is not the Maldives. This is the Philippines. This is Cebu. Right here. Oh, yes, way. Okay? Ah, where is that? See me later. Tell me, what's the difference between the color of the clouds, the color of the sky, the color of the sand, and the color of the sea? To those pictures that I showed you. No difference, really. This is another place, right here in Cebu. Okay? Another place some of you are familiar with. So we have a lot to offer, but I'll tell you something else that we have that's very unique. We have the warm hospitality of the Filipino culture and its people. And I tell you, you cannot get that anywhere else in the world. Doesn't matter how beautiful the destination is. Do you know that in 2014, Gallup survey in the US highlighted the Philippines as the 5th happiest population on earth, alongside Uruguay, Switzerland, and Singapore. Number 5. Okay? And a lot of these other destinations that are so beautiful didn't rank anywhere near there. So, an airport plays a very important role in economic regeneration. It creates trade and travel opportunities. It creates tourism growth. It also creates employment and skill development because, of course, as airports grow, they provide employment opportunities not just in the airport sector, but throughout the whole travel and tourism sector. They also provide an economic contribution, but to unlock that contribution, there are lots of steps that have to be taken. I'll give you a very interesting example: visa regime. Applying for a visa to travel to a country determines the interest that people have to travel to that country or not. Many of you know how difficult it is for Filipinos to apply for a visa to travel, for example, to the Schengen territory, to the US, to Canada. You have to supply literally your life history to be able to get a visa to go to one of these places. It's very challenging. The Maldives has a visa-free regime. Every arrival is granted visa-free entry into the Maldives. It's proved one of their successes. The United Kingdom government in this year took an unprecedented step when businesses in the UK calculated the economic disbenefit of losing out on Chinese tourism visitors to the United Kingdom. Why? Because when a Chinese person is going to visit Europe, they have to apply for 2 visas, a Schengen visa and a UK visa, because they think, well, I'm in Europe, I may as well visit the UK as well. Unfortunately, each time they send off for this, they have to send their life history, and they also have to wait about 1 to 2 weeks for each application. So what did they decide to do? Well, I'll just go to the Schengen territory, because one visa gives me access to several countries, visa-free. Whereas for the UK, I only get to go to one country. The UK government took the unprecedented step of declaring that Chinese visitors who apply through certain travel agents for a Schengen visa can use the same visa to gain entry into the UK. And it has never been done before. And that is purely on the basis of economic value that these Chinese tourists present to going over there. So it's very important. India, as another country, has introduced a new scheme of an electronic visa, where you don't have to actually go and apply for the visa and in your country of origin, you can actually apply online. Tourist numbers have increased 5-fold from the countries where this feature has been introduced. So it is a success. And again, it's driven by an understanding of the economic contribution that these tourists make. It's also about putting us on a place on the map, so that we feature, we're there. So that one day when we ask people about the Philippines, they won't get confused with it being next to Hawaii. So it's not just about a tourism campaign. We have a great campaign. You see this sticker on the side of taxis in the UK. But really, when we look at the tourism growth over the years in the Philippines, look, 1996, 1 million, 2014, 4.8 million. We're still far off the targets that we see in other parts of the world. Look at the growth, even in our airport right here in Cebu. 1995, 1.8. Today we're at 6.9. But we need to take that big step. And one of the most fascinating case studies that I'm really impressed by is the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates, which is not even a destination, okay? In 1995, they had 2 million tourist visitors into the United Arab Emirates. In 2014, this number was 13.2 million. But this is what's really interesting. In 1995, they had 7.1 million passengers traveling through their airports. And this year, they're estimated to cross 71 million passengers through their airports. Now, why did they achieve this success? They achieved this success because the government was very innovative. The government decided to join up an airline, create an airline that will serve as many parts of the globe as possible, efficiently, with a great level of service, decided to control the rates and costs of hotels under the tourism umbrella, and at the same time create an airport that can facilitate all of this traffic movements. So it was a joined-up approach. There was a time where if you bought a ticket on a European carrier to go from A to C via B, and you decided to break your journey in B for a day or two, you'd have to pay a penalty. In the United Arab Emirates, they introduced a system where they positively encourage you to stop over. They in fact cap the hotel rates, give you discounted hotel stays, and give you a package for your visa because you're actually buying a ticket that stops over in Dubai. And this is one of the reasons why they've achieved this success. The busiest airport in the world is Atlanta Hartsfield in the US, over 93 million passengers a year. The busiest international airport in the world was London Heathrow. Dubai is on target to overtake London Heathrow for this year, and they will continue to grow. So this is tourism that's driving this growth, and the role that the airport plays in that tourism growth is very, very critical. This is our existing airport. So when you overfly the airport, the building on the right-hand side is in red. This is where the existing terminal is, and to the left is where the new terminal is going to be built. So Cebu will have a new airport in summer 2018, which will take the capacity of the airport from 4.5 million to 12.5 million. For the first time ever, we will focus on destinations that will connect Cebu to parts of the world that have never been connected. It's already been done. In March 2016, there'll be a non-stop flight from Cebu to Los Angeles 3 times a week. First time ever that Cebu is connected to the US. So people in the US will know where Cebu is. And yes, they will. And there are other carriers that will also be flying directly so that people can actually travel from here. It will be something that reflects the culture and heritage of the Cebuano people. The famous weave pattern with wood. That's going to be the design of the interior ceiling of the terminal building. Because an airport must reflect the culture and the heritage of the place it is situated in. And this is a very important measure. This is the drop-off zone in front of the terminal. So we will place ourselves on the map, and this will be one of the best airports, not just in the region, but I personally believe in the world. This is what it will look like when you go through that retail, through the departures area. Airports are economic engines of growth, and they will create opportunities not just in terms of tourism, but also in terms of business, because many people that travel to a region as tourists also spot business opportunities. They spot opportunities for engagement. Bringing in traffic into a new airport that has more capacity will also help for the export of products from here. The Philippines has excellent products that it makes. Do you know that every economy that has products that are exported and also sold domestically brands them separately? One marked for export, or export grade quality, and the other is domestic. The Filipinos have one of the greatest exports in the world, and that's known as the OFW. That means that almost every Filipino is export grade. That's what it means, okay? So we have to harness that opportunity. We have to harness that. We have to work with government, both local and national, to ensure that the facilities are in place to welcome this boom in tourism, to ensure that we have the right bed capacity, to ensure that there are things at the destination for tourists to be able to do, to ensure that we have a workforce that's agile, mobile, and connected, both physically and electronically, to the rest of the world, to be able to harness this opportunity for growth. We have to ensure that we have the right resources in place to make sure that when people come here, they have a memorable experience, which will make them want to come more often and invite more of their friends to do the same. So I say once again, airports are economic engines of growth, and you are the key ingredient to ensure the success of that growth. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.